When you really think about it, this show was about three people: Sasha Banks, Bayley, and the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. Hello all NXT fans and welcome to another review with me, Mike McRock, your co-host for the MRB Wrestling Review Show. And now NXT TakeOver Respect has wrapped up just last night, and right now I'm going to deliver to you my review of NXT TakeOver Respect. And let's not beat around the bush, let's get right down to what happened on this show. And the first match was Finn Balor and Samoa Joe taking out Scott Dawson and Dash Wilder in the semi-final Tag Team Tournament Classic. And really, this was the only match that I could see that would actually kick off the show, and rightfully so it does, because it really shows importance to the Tag Team Classic and to the Dream himself, Dusty Rhodes. And again, you can make the argument for both teams going into this match to win this match. I mean, you have Dash and Dawson beating the Vaudevillains in a non-title tournament match against the Vaudevillains, but I had a sneaky feeling that that was just a one-time thing, and it kind of turns out I was actually right about that. And what I really like about this tournament in general is that we get to see different and fresh matches that really makes the specialty stand out even more, and this is one of them. This is a match that actually felt fresh and really different. And I also like that Dash and Dawson were really impressive in this match, doing things that veteran teams would even do, and they were really starting to grow as a team, and really this match showcased them a lot more than it showcased Finn Balor and Samoa Joe, in my opinion. And maybe in that sense, maybe the Rednecks could have went over in this match, but I do agree with Samoa Joe and Finn Balor winning this match and how it would play out in the final match, and that the pacing went very well. It didn't slow down or speed up. It wasn't rushed. It felt like it was the right length and pacing with some good tag team work from both teams, and it felt like a match that would, a kickoff match, what should feel like, just giving enough without giving too much away. Jason Jordan and Chad Gable took on Baron Corbin and the War Machine Rhino in the second semi-final Tag Team Tournament Classic. Now, going into this match, it was actually kind of hard to choose what team should win here and why this match had to be this match, because it is two teams, and it would be weird with the dynamics, you know, like who would the fans cheer for, but we know who the fans would boo. And it turns out that they were chanting and cheering more with Jason Jordan and Chad Gable, but mostly Chad Gable. And what I found was a really funny moment was that the audience was singing Gable, 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 as they were chanting like Kurt Angle's theme song. It was something like that. It was really funny, I thought. I was like, I've never seen that in a long time. Thank you, crowd, for giving this match some life. I really like it. And then you had that moment where Jason Jordan went all out, Kurt Angle strapping down his strap bands and just going all intense, and his muscles and his ribs are showing. That intense Kurt Angle moment, straight out of Kurt Angle there. I mean, this team, to me, feels like the world's greatest tag team in a way. And what I like about this match was that the last few minutes of this match were the highlight portions. I mean, especially that German suplex that Chad Gable landed on Baron Corbin. Look at this guy. I mean, this is the last guy I would think that would have the strength like that. You know, kind of like a Cesaro in a way. I mean, I think this team has really been growing and growing and growing. And then we got to the finish here. You had Baron Corbin and Rhino going over Chad Gable and Jason Jordan. And to me, I think they made the right call here based on what happened in the first match and how vulnerable Finn Balor and Samoa Joe looked as a team. I mean, really, what better way, you know, to have the main semi-main event being the final match between Baron Corbin and Rhino taking on Samoa Joe and Finn Balor in that vulnerable state that they're in. Two badasses going against this vulnerable team. It makes storyline sense when you really think about it. And to me, this match kind of one-upped the first match in a way, and that it was actually a really good match. And I'm going to move on right now to the next match because I really don't want to waste any more of your time. And I'm going to talk about Dana Brooke with Emma facing Asuka. Now, I just want to say right now, I hope you're enjoying this review. And right now, I'm just going to continue on with this next match. Now, Dana Brooke versus Asuka. Now, going into this match, the only thing I really cared about was Asuka and how she was going to perform in her first match on NXT. That was the only thing I really cared about. I didn't care about anything else. And to me, overall, this was just an okay match. You know, it was nothing outstanding by any stretch, but it got the point across. This match showcased Asuka, and I expected this match the way I expected this match. It was a match where Asuka goes over Dana Brooke, and there you go. You know, that's pretty much it. You know, but I was kind of caught off guard in how quick Asuka is in the ring. She's really quick when it comes to her in-ring work, so I kind of like that from her. And I also sense a heelish side with Asuka as well. You can see that sadistic smile that she puts on her face sometimes, and it's almost like, maybe she could be that woman that maybe smiles a lot in that sadistic, evil-looking way, but I have a feeling that they're really going to reserve that for Nia Jax, who will be debuting next week, so I'm really looking forward to that. Now, the next match on the card was Tyler Breeze versus Apollo Crews. Now, going into this match, I really didn't care. I just did not care at all about this match. You know, I felt like that Tyler Breeze isn't going nowhere. In NXT, he's floundering around the locker room right now, and NXT seems like that they want to push Crews to the moon. So, well, really, I just expected for Apollo Crews to win here. And guess what? I was actually surprised by this match. Both guys looked really strong in this match, and I felt like that Crews took a lot more punishment in this match, and that Breeze felt like he was really pissed off, and that he really wanted to win this match instead of, oh, I have to put Crews over. So, in that sense, this was a good match that actually surprised me, and it's a match that I really didn't care for going into it, and coming out of it, feeling good. I love it when NXT does things like this, that really turns your mindset around thinking that something that may not be good that turns out to be good, and this is one of those matches. And I also like how they played upon the politics aspect in this match as well. I like how they play on the story about new guys coming in and wanting to take all the glory, and they're the ones being pushed, and that the talent that are around NXT longer are being pushed to the side. So in that sense, the politics actually do work, and overall, this was a really good segment, and actually a pretty good match. I was surprised by it. And then we get into the semi-main event on NXT TakeOver Respect, and that was the final match to determine who would win the Tag Team Tournament Dusty Rhodes Classic. You got Baron Corbin and Rhino versus Samoa Joe and Finn Balor. And like I said earlier, really, what better team to face Joe and Balor in the vulnerable state that they're in with Finn Balor's work leg injury than to face Corbin and Rhino? Seriously, look at these two. What a badass team this is. And going into this match, I was really curious to see how they would work this match, and that it doesn't turn out to be a giant cliche and predictable match that may or may not be effective in execution. And with that said, I was half right. Yeah, it was predictable and cliche, but the execution of it was actually really effective here. I mean, this match had a really good story going into it, and I feel like that Samoa Joe and Finn Balor really put it out there as a team a lot more than they did in their first match, and I felt like that Baron Corbin and Rhino put more out there in this match than they done in the first match, in my opinion anyway. My only issue I had with the match is that there was a story going on with Baron Corbin and how he doesn't like indie wrestlers who come out of rinky-dink wrestling arenas and stuff, and he really doesn't know who they are. You remember that video package that they played upon with Baron Corbin a few months ago? I never saw any reference to that anywhere in this match, even from the announcers. I wish they would bring that up, because Samoa Joe and Finn Balor are indie guys, and I would have liked to see someone even mention that Baron Corbin and Finn Balor were in that video package that was about Baron Corbin. That I would have liked to see play more upon in this match. And I actually agree of having Finn Balor and Samoa Joe winning this match, because to me they could use this win as a possible one-on-one match between the two of them for the NXT Championship. How they would do that, I really don't know. But this is where I would start building up that match. Having them holding the cup, the Dusty Rhodes Cup, and I like that Cody Rhodes and the family, and Cody Rhodes delivering a great speech about Dusty Rhodes and the family. It was a really good feel-good moment for Dusty Rhodes. All I have to say is thank you, Dusty Rhodes, for everything you've done, and I think that NXT done a fantastic job in this show in honoring Dusty Rhodes. And then we get into the main event on NXT TakeOver Respect. It was Bayley versus Sasha Banks in a 30-minute Iron Woman match for the NXT Women's Championship. Now, going into this match, I wasn't worried at all about the in-ring work that these two women will deliver. It really would take a lot to suck me out of this match, because how these women on NXT, especially Sasha Banks and Bayley, perform inside the ring here. And my only concern was that of the finish, and more specifically, who wins this match, because to me, it is way too soon for Bayley to even lose the title at this point in her NXT run. And I think her title reign should last at least up until maybe the first special event in 2016. And I have to say, this match was a main event. This was a really, really good way to end NXT Respect. And you know when a match is great when the fans chant, "This is awesome," before they even touch each other. And it's very rare in today's WWE that stuff like that really doesn't exist anymore in today's WWE. So it was really good to see something like that happen on the show. And the fans really made this match and really elevated this match. I think they kind of overhyped it maybe just a little bit, because I feel like there were a couple of botchy moments in this match. You know, it is what it is. Like that arm drag that Bayley applied to Sasha Banks, Sasha laying on a soldier. And there was another one that happened around in the last few minutes. And let's just break it down like this. Sasha Banks got the first fall, poking Bayley in the eye and rolling her up with the schoolgirl. And you have Bayley getting the second fall with her finisher for some reason, because I felt like I was wondering why she got that, way too quick with her finisher, because I would have reserved that moment in the last few minutes, but I'll get there. And then you got Sasha Banks getting the third fall via countout, and really she was starting to work the crowd at this point, especially at Bayley's number one fan, Izzy, getting in her face, getting into her family's face. I mean, that is how you get the reaction and the right heat. Sasha is doing a fantastic job as a heel. She was evil in this match. Pure evil. And I loved it. I love Sasha Banks in this match. She delivered great psychology in the ring, and she showed great character development. I mean, Sasha Banks to me is one of the greatest divas, women on NXT. I don't want to see her on Raw. It would be terrible how they would use her on Raw. It would suck. It absolutely would. And I have to say that Sasha Banks, not only Sasha Banks, but Bayley, these two delivered a really good match here in the main event. And like I said, my only nitpicky issues I had were a couple of botches, and there was a questionable moment where Sasha Banks had the opportunity to get another fall via countout, but instead she dives onto Bayley outside the ring, and I was wondering why she would do that when she had an opportunity to get the next fall. It just seemed like she didn't want to win at that point, but that really didn't deprive me at all from witnessing this really good main event on NXT. These women put it all out there on the line. Was it better than their first match on NXT Live in Brooklyn? It's close. It's close. I feel like that they had a better story going into their first match than they done in this match. That's my only other thing regards to this 30-minute Iron Woman match. But overall, the main event felt like a main event. NXT showed real importance in building up this match, and the match itself was really a really good mix of wrestling psychology and story, and that it really showed me that NXT shows importance to the women's division. And so overall, NXT delivered a well-produced and well-directed 2-hour special event with a card that was actually structured very well, starting with the 2 semi-final matches and letting the winners having room to breathe after the next 2 matches, and then going on into the semi-main events, and that they showed great importance to Dusty Rhodes and the 30-minute Iron Woman main event. I mean, the show was entertaining, the show was exciting, and the show was a lot of fun with a couple of feel-good moments. And my only nitpick about the show was the lack of backstage segments in the main show, and they could have used some of that was in the pre-show. Other than that, I was absolutely entertained in the entire way through with this show. This show delivered well, this show delivered amazing in-ring work, and the show delivered just 2 hours of fun. That's all I need, just 2 hours of fun. And if you saw NXT TakeOver Respect, what did you think about it? Feel free to leave those comments right here in the comment section below. And you can also hit that subscribe button down below this video as well to become an MRBer on the MRB Wrestling Review Show.